Yo, what is good, YouTubes? It's your boy Ray, and this is the Everyday City Carry. And tonight I have a special guest on the podcast. I've got Stevie in the house. How's it going?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh man, thank you actually, because you actually saved me. I didn't explain this to you, but I actually was supposed to have Little Fit Devil on tonight.
Oh shit!
But
well, you got the exact opposite.
No, bro, it's even better, man. You know, like I love bringing on channels that have just crossed over that 1,000 follower threshold, because it took me a long time to get there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I want people to keep doing this, like making knife content and growing the knife community, and it really makes me happy to see like this thing is expanding a lot now.
Oh man, just since I've started, I've only been at this for I started my channel at the end of October last year.
Wow.
And I didn't expect to have more than a handful of followers. But even then, though, the amount of people that have from the community that have decided to do what I did and just, turn on the camera, start talking to it, I like it. I know a lot of people say there's so much content and can't keep up. Good.
Yes.
Give all the content, let the people decide, and I think that it's, there's a lot of good perspectives out there, because everyone's a little bit different. We're not all the same, know, and I think more so it's good. It's personality, right? I mean, we can all talk about the exact same, Protect Malibu 1,000 times, and we're all going to have a little bit of different, take on it. It was Warncliffe Wednesday, so I was carrying that.
That's what I was going to ask you actually first, is what did you carry today? So I guess that's the one.
So I normally carry theme. I mean,
yes,
I got so many that I'm fairly active on Instagram. So I'm always carrying for the hashtags.
Yes.
Wu-Tang Wednesday.
Wu-Tang
so I got
Wu-Tang
Wu-Tang Warncliffe Wednesday. But yeah, I had the my OG Protect Malibu.
Wow.
Warncliffe in pocket, and then I carry all the other stuff too. Like I said, a Hank, a flashlight. I've been digging this. Someone sent me this. I don't know who. It showed up. I didn't order this. Someone randomly sent this to me. It's a Boker. It's a Boker micarta pen, bolt action pen, and this thing's awesome, man. I love it.
Wow, that looks so cool.
Yeah. It's I mentioned it at one time on one of my live streams that I was crushing on it, and it wasn't available yet. And then I got a random package that showed up from Amazon, and I had to even go back and make sure I didn't order it. Nope, it's not in my order history. Yeah, whoever this is, I've been trying to figure it out, but thank you. I love this pen. So
that is amazing. I would never have guessed that that's a Boker. Never.
I know, right? I know. Yeah. It's and I don't think they do any other pens. I think this is the only one they did, and they killed it with
that.
The micarta is
awesome.
Really well.
That is awesome, man.
And
how much is that?
It's like $34 or something. Pretty cheap.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I just literally Googled Boker pen, and they do have some pens, but I don't see that one. I'm gonna try bolt action because I like that. Oh, I see it here, but I think yours looks better, dude.
In person, it looks way better.
Yeah, I like the pattern on that.
Yep.
How did you get into the hobby?
Well, I've always been into knives. I'm a Cub Scout,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been into pocket knives again. I'm in the Pacific Northwest,
Gotta have them.
Northwest Washington. Knives have always been in my pocket. And really, so I come from the plumbing trades. I'm a plumber for the last basically 20 years. And before I knew what EDC was and a pocket dump was, I've always been carrying flashlights, multiple knives. I'm a big one is none, two is one. So I carry two knives because if one goes down, you still need another one. Flashlights, pens. I take my hat off at the end of the day, toss everything. I was, pocket dumps have always been a thing. And then it was I kind of crossed over from the pew pew world.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really active on Instagram or anything, but I think like a lot of people, right around the pandemic is when I started discovering the social media aspect side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy shit, people are actually taking pictures of the shit that they carry. I can do that. And that's really how I got to where I'm at now. Is I got noticed through Instagram. That's when I started just posting random pictures and figured out how to use hashtags and all that shit. And
Yeah.
before I know it, the Instagram account started blowing up. And then that's when I started then finding more content creators on YouTube, participating in live streams and getting to know the different people. And started hopping on some lives before I even had a channel, and then was like, why don't I just do this myself? But carrying shit in my pockets has always been something that I'm into. Again, whether it's watches or
Yeah.
again, multiple knives. Again, flashlights. I've always had, flashlights or a Leatherman or something on me. So I just didn't know until, a couple of years ago that EDC was a thing.
Yeah, EDC to me for a long time was Electric Daisy Carnival, which is a big
Right.
rave out in Las Vegas.
Yep.
And also in California. I was going to that since it was in California. Because I had my whole like EDM dance music phase. I was DJing for like 10 years. I actually DJed at EDC before too.
Nice.
But to me, that's what EDC was. So
right.
I accidentally got into the hobby. I've always liked weapons and stuff. I'm Asian.
Sure.
I love martial arts, and I was watching all the flicks when I was a kid. The kung fu flicks with the guys tossing the hat and it would chop people's arms off. So I loved edged weapons. Plus, I'm Filipino, so you know what I'm saying. Like a lot of edged weapon styles come from there. Arnis, Eskrima, and like all of that stuff. But I what do you call that? I was looking for a bag, and I've told this story before. I was looking for a bag that could house all my tech gear, like wires and stuff. You know what I mean? I carry 2 phones every day, and a lot of battery packs, a lot of different chargers and things like that. And I was working in an office at the time, so I was looking for a bag that would have like compartments that could, neatly store the wires. And it just turns out that tactical bags have that. So I was looking for tactical bags, and I stumbled upon a channel called Prepared Mind 101. And he was reviewing this Rap Dom tactical bag, and I was like, oh shit, this is really cool. And then I saw like he reviewed a Rake P801, which is like an old school rake for this. And this is I think this is a conspiracy, bro. Okay, because back when I started collecting knives, 14C28N was $30.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely.
Right? Like Rake is still selling knives at 14C28N for like $30. And all of a sudden it's become this like kind of super budget steal now.
It's become the new D2.
That's what I'm saying. And then so I saw that video and I was like, oh snap. So like there's a difference between these MTechs and things that I would buy on Amazon and other things. So I just kept going down that rabbit hole, discovered Shabazz, Advanced Knife Bro. Love them knives.
Of course.
Was my first YouTube friend. And bought some knives from him. And after I bought a ZT0456 designed by Sinkovich, I bought it from JD Cutlery with a custom anode, $275. I was done. Like I need to keep doing this because I love this thing. And and now I'm here. This like 5 years later. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I love it, man. I think creating content is like very therapeutic for me.
That's the thing I said in my very first video.
Yeah, right.
My very first video, I said this is more for me, I think, than anything else. Just to be able to get my thoughts out.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I agree though. Very therapeutic.
And you're like sharing something, even if it's on the internet with like other people that are into it. And it is still a niche thing, even though it's huge now.
Still very small corner of the internet though.
Yes, definitely. I mean, if you think about it, right? Since we are in this kind of YouTube like hemisphere, right? Especially me, because I'm posting on everything and I'm consuming content on everything. I'm like seeing what works here, seeing what works there, posting this same thing here, then here, and seeing what happens is like what my actual hobby is. Like I love seeing how people react to the stuff that I make. But even then, right, when I talk to my wife, like Kelly, she's like, you know that you think that everyone can do this, but it's not true. Because I think it's like 1 out of 10 people like do like 1 out of 10 people are like on Twitter or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a very little amount. So, you know, people still don't know what creating content is. I think in the future, people will just use it as like digital scrapbooking pretty much, which is starting to happen more and more. But yeah, that's how I treat it, man. Like I do these vlogs with my wife and me, and that's just like a way for us to revisit like when we went to Hawaii 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Or like a video. Have you ever watched one of your really old videos, like older, and you're like, whoa?
I try not to. I try not to, man. I try not to.
Oh, why? What happened?
I've just in the very short time I've really evolved, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, just figuring out my way.
Yes.
But no, I recently started doing the same thing too. Again, living out in the Pacific Northwest, there's so many awesome spots that I'm going to. And sure, I know the spots, but I wanted to start, I guess, sharing that and being able for something for my kid to look back on and her friends to be like, oh, we should go out there. And, you know, so yeah, and shooting the vlogs are actually pretty fun, you know.
Yeah.
It's just,
the rambling in the woods. I watched every
yeah.
time I get a new guest on that's never been on before, I watch a ton of tape on them. So I actually watched a lot of your stuff today. And
yeah, the rambling from the woods is
some.
I just started titling that, so I had something a little catchy. But yeah,
well, I mean, because like to a person like me, for example, I live in a different kind of wilderness. You know what I'm saying?
Right, urban.
Like I live in New York City. I'm in the Bronx right now. There are creatures outside, probably doing heroin. You know, but we have a different kind of danger here. But to me, right, it's funny because I'm a city person that's like obsessed with the outdoors. Like I watch shows like Alone. My favorite show, one of my favorite shows of all time is Meat Eater, where they like hunt.
Steve Rinella is awesome.
Oh my god, I love
Steve
that
Rinella.
Dude, when a new season drops, I kill that so fast. I love it. So I love those things. So when I watched that video, I was like, damn, this guy like lives in a really cool place.
Yeah, I've kind of taken it for granted. You know, I'm not originally from here. I was born in North Carolina. Lived in Philadelphia till I was about.
My wife's from North Carolina. I've been there before. Yeah, I'm gonna go back there in September.
Okay. Yeah, I was a military brat. My parents were helicopter mechanics out in Fort Bragg. But then moved to Philadelphia till I was 7-ish. Then moved up to the Pacific Northwest. And for people that don't know, the North Carolina versus the Pacific Northwest, two completely different scenes. Completely different scenes. So I was kind of a fish out of water at first up here. Then again, getting into Cub Scouts and everything, you know, the places that you see me in that, that's an hour, less than an hour from where I live. And I've just grown up with it. And again, kind of taking it for granted. And then I started realizing like, shit, this could actually make some cool content coming out here because you don't see a lot of people doing that, you know? So
yeah, 100%. That's really good, man. I tell people like creating content to share like what your experiences is probably the best. You know, at first, right, when I first started creating content on YouTube, first of all, there's no Asians at that time 5 years ago making knife content, right? And second of all, definitely no one from fucking New York City was making content, EDC.
Right.
Content. No one. And I was doing these vlogs around the city and I would get DMs like, oh my God, that looks so like, I would have so much anxiety because I went in Times Square and I would vlog there. And people were like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, how do you live in that police state? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, but I they ask me like how I carry my knives and stuff like that. But I noticed that it piqued people's interest to look into someone's life that they're not living. You know what I'm saying? So all these crazy street corners and different people, and even just like a bunch of people in one place is like kind of, kind of crazy to some people. And the same thing where you live, it's like woods, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm about an hour north of Seattle. You know,
Yeah.
so and I grew up. Look, I'm 44 years old. I'm a product of the early 90s grunge explosion.
Hmm.
You know, so
Believe it or not,
literally,
me too.
yeah.
I'm 41.
So I grew up in the early mid 90s. I'm a skateboarder.
Yeah.
Lived that life down in in the big city. You know, as big
Yep.
as Seattle is compared to other spots around here. Yeah, Seattle, Portland metro area is where I grew up. And as I started getting older, though, wanting to check out the more,
Hmm.
back off from the city. I'll go to the city, still go to a lot of shows and stuff,
Hmm.
whether it's comedy or live music. Still go to a lot of shows, but out in that neck of the woods, it's and I get what you're saying about there's a lot of people that don't see what I see out there,
Yeah.
and the comments that I get going, "Oh my god, I didn't know that." Again, not that the scenery is not lost on me. It's still awe. I still get blown away by it, but I wasn't expecting the reaction that I get from a lot of people. Like, bro, like it's gorgeous where you live. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. I get people that are like from like Phoenix or where it's dry desert,
It's just
country,
hot.
and they're like, whoa, look, it's green. I can't believe you have green. So yeah, that's been something I wasn't expecting, but people have reacted to it really well. And again, on the weekends for me, I dude, I don't talk about my work life too much on in this world, but I got a dude nonstop busy, super
Hmm.
stressful job. So on the weekends, I really don't have much responsibilities these days. So, head up I can 30 minutes I'm in the Cascade Mountains, or 20 minutes I'm in the Puget Sound, right at the ocean, so it's like
Wow.
where do I want to go? It's kind of the best of both worlds. And I
That's amazing.
gravitate more towards the mountains, so
I like both. Um, I like hiking. I like doing all that stuff. When I went to Hawaii, I mean, my wife loves the beach like life. That's what she wants, But when we went hiking and stuff, right? We went to I forgot what the place is called, man. It's like parts of Jurassic Park were filmed there, and it's like straight
okay.
jungle, bro. I loved
Yeah.
it, dude. I was like back home. I was like, this is a jungle Asian baby. Like I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? And my wife was like, oh, Kelly, she has like really stub legs and she's trying to do the thing. No, I love both. Can you tell me like what knives you've been really liking lately?
uh Man, I got in front of me is a surprise knife. Just got it in 2 days ago for review
Hmm.
from Blade Ops, and it's the Schrade Truix.
Ah.
So everybody thinks Schrade, they think cheap, you know, uh, not very
Oh, that's
well
pretty
made
smooth.
knives. Well, Schrade they've brought some of their designs in they're made in United States. So this is in like I think their alpha class.
Oh,
And I just did the unboxing on it 2 days ago, and I figured it was worth checking out. I was genuinely blown away by this knife, and so
wow.
yeah, this Schrade. I mean, it's got its flaws, but I'm really digging it, and I don't have too many Tantos
Yeah.
in the collection, so this is one that I'll probably end up picking up.
How much is that?
167 bucks.
And it's
That's the
S35. I think I
It's
saw your
S35
unboxing.
VN. It's S35. It's G10. It's stainless steel on the bolsters, not titanium. Not super premium, but it's definitely a cut above what they've been
Used to
doing.
make.
And yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And again, they've brought production back to the U.S. My surprise knife of the year. Not crazy about this scale material on this one, but this is the Sparrow Knives Concept collaboration, the Fenware.
Oh.
So it's
I
a
saw that in the front flipper video.
yeah. So it's got the front flipper. It's got
Hmm.
thumb studs. They got a bunch of different scale material. This one, the blue G10, I'm not crazy about it, but This knife is, it again really surprised me. It looked cool enough to check out, and then when I got it in, I was really surprised by it. So, yeah, really crushing on the
Wow,
Fenware.
that looks nice.
Um,
The
and
you know,
then
you mentioned Blade Ops, right? Like, are you
yeah,
you collaborate with them or something?
yeah, I'm part of. I'm on their affiliate program.
It's
So,
so fun. I
uh,
just joined them recently, and they're like awesome, dude.
yeah, Andy
They're
over there is
fucking.
awesome,
I
man.
know Andy is a. Yeah, he's amazing, man. Because I post a lot. Like I asked for a lot
Hmm.
of stuff on the. This is the second package I'm gonna get. The first package I asked for like 4 knives to make sure that he knows he can trust me, and like I made like shitload of content, like maybe
Right,
more than 20 pieces or something. Because short form content is like what's working for me. That's why I do
right,
it. But
right,
Blade Ops is dope, man. And remember, you can grab things at Blade Ops. The link in the description right
right, right.
now. They do have cool stuff,
Um,
man. But yeah,
yeah,
so back to
yeah.
the Fenrir, you said, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Fenware. Yeah, this is my first go around with Concept.
Wait, it's Fenrir or Fenrir?
Fenrir.
Oh, like the
Fenrir.
the
There's a dam designs.
yes,
Also
it's
called
also like
Fenware.
a wolf or something in like Norse mythology or something. Fenrir, right?
Maybe that I
I
didn't know.
yeah, I think it is. I'm gonna Google it right now. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's Fenrir together with Hel and the World Serpent is a child of Loki and giantess. I can't pronounce
Oh
that
shit.
name. Yeah, so it's like some kind of wolf. It's pretty dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's a cool, definitely cool looking knife. And
Yeah.
Concept is such an interesting company because it's like I would just love to sit down with somebody there and ask them like, yo, what really happened with Kaiser? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Right? That's like the big thing, you know? Maybe I'll get big enough one day Kim Ning will be on the podcast. You know what I mean? Yeah, because he was like the guy. And
Yep.
then something happened. And then he's like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna start Concept, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
Um,
Don't. Yeah.
I don't
I'd love
know.
to know that story, man. Um.
Because Concept
You
is a
know.
great knife company. It's a really like they
That's
make
what it.
really premium stuff and they're new.
Right.
You semi-new. I
And
mean, they're still pretty new if you compare
they're
it to like all
newer.
the other. Yeah.
Right.
And they make
Right.
really good stuff like right off the bat.
Right. Yeah, I everyone kept saying how great they were, and I just hadn't had anything. And then when I saw this Sparrow Knife collaboration, I was like, oh, this is a good introduction to them. And I mean, the fit and finish. I mean, and this is only like $150 knife.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm all up and down the scale on price ranges.
Yeah.
I got my super expensive Arius, and then
Mhm.
I got
Damn, you have
cheap
an Arius?
Kubies. I do. I
Oof.
had to. I
Damn.
handled one. I handled one, and after handling it, I had to get one.
How much did you
So
get it for?
table price 7.
Which is 7. Oh, that's so you got it at a
Yeah.
Blade Show or something?
No. No.
Would-
It was off of one of the drops that they did with.
And it was 7.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
good
So
price.
I mean, well, it's
I
still a
mean,
$700 fucking
yeah,
knife, right?
but I mean, like, you could
um.
if somebody will buy it for more than that probably if like they can't get
You
any.
could sell it for double for sure.
Yes,
For sure.
that's what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
I've seen these things go for over $1,000. So,
Oh,
you know,
so I always check out different knives on Arizona Custom Knives. I get their
yeah.
daily. I follow certain makers and they get daily stuff that pops up. These will pop up for $13, $14, $1,500 and they're gone 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it's pretty much
um
regarded as like one of the best knives like ever.
I
So,
gotta say I didn't believe it, and then I held one and I was like, okay, the hype is real. The hype is real.
I gotta
But
try
then
that one day.
on the flip side, one
Yeah.
of my all-time favorite knives that I've gotten this year is the $40 Kubi Duroc.
Kubi makes some dope stuff, man.
Dude, Kubi
Yeah.
is absolutely I'm really digging what Kubi's doing. And again, $40, cheap material, G10,
Mhm.
D2. I'm
Yeah.
not a steel snob. I'm not worried about rusting up here. If I
Yeah.
can sharpen it, that's all I really care about. Now, I don't want my Arius in D2, obviously. But so I don't play favorites in a price point. I see a knife, if I think it looks dope, I'm going to pick it up. I don't care if it's $20 or $200 or, $800. And I've gotten to a point, not to sound pompous, but I got a little bit of FU money these days as I've gotten a little bit older, So,
damn.
And I've been budget. That sounds a little pompous, but
I've got a little bit of FU money.
I haven't had a hobby for so long that I've had hobby money socked away. And so
snap.
I've gotten to the point where if I see something that, I still have to justify it. I don't like really spending more than $250 on a knife. That's kind of my anything outside of that.
I would say that's the same for me.
But most of my knives are in that range. But then, I got to get something every once in a while, like the J-Cape.
Oh, wow. That's so nice.
And I'm not really usually into like murdered out blades, but I had to get the J-Cape. So, I usually go for two things. One, I collect by makers. Like I'm a big Ferrum Forge guy. Like that's what really got me into the hobby.
Yeah.
I got like 30 some Ferrum Forges.
Wow.
And then I do collect by the maker. Like I'm really big into Todd Knife and Tool. Anything
CM Designs.
CM Designs. That's one of these ones. Yeah, I'm a big Colin Mason Pierre fanboy, man. But then really outside of just going after the collection aspect of it, because again, I'm a collector of things, whether it's been comic books or baseball cards or, when I was into comic books, I didn't collect. I collect based on like Jim Lee was my guy.
Shit.
Artist. And so it didn't matter what he was doing. If Jim Lee inked it or was the illustrator, I was getting a Jim Lee or Rob Liefeld, Do
you remember when Image Comics first came out?
Dude, when him and Rob Liefeld came out.
Do you remember? Because I was young, right? I want to say. So we're close to the same age. So I was probably like, I was young, maybe like 10, 11.
Yeah, I was about 12, 13.
Dude,
yeah.
And I remember I saw the cover of Gen 13 and I was like, holy shit, these girls are so hot.
Right. That was right around the first time I was like, wait a second, what are they doing here? Yeah.
Totally, man. Gen 13, bro. That brings back memories, man. I was like, oh my God, let me get two.
Right.
That was awesome, man. Yeah. And you discover Spawn and all that. I was into comics too. I was really into comics because I feel like nerd culture was, because I came from the Philippines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a quick way. It was sports, comic books, like anything like nerd type culture was a quick way for me to kind of like assimilate into American culture. Even though in the Philippines, I always tell people this: if you want to go on a cheap vacation to Asia where everyone speaks English, go to the Philippines. Yeah. Every single person speaks English because we take in American culture. Like we want that so bad, and other cultures as well, as opposed to like I think other Asian cultures want to keep everything, true.
Right.
Filipinos are very accepting of other cultures because we are in essence a mix of like American, Japanese, and Spanish culture pretty much.
Right.
So when I came to America, that was an easy way for me to make friends. I would collect the Marvel cards. Do you remember that? With like the tinfoil Silver Surfer and stuff? And like I would trade with my friends and like, man, I wish I kept those fucking cards, dude.
I still got a binder full of them, man.
What? That's crazy. Yep. Yeah, I collected baseball cards too, because that was another way to, link up with friends. It had like, plus it had like gum in it. You know what I'm saying? It was the shit, dude.
I always, I'm a collector of things. So, when it comes to the knife game, like I get to use your shit, people, but I do use my shit. But then I just want to carry around a cool fucking pocket knife.
Yes.
And I don't mind if I'm just, again, I'm not out in the field like I used to be in the plumbing world, where I was using my shit all the time. I travel a lot now. And for my job throughout the day. And so I'm not out hard using my stuff. And then when I go out into the, when I'm doing those vlogs, I'm not going out there to baton, through, so I just collect knives.
I'm right there with you,
So,
man. The
you know,
use your shit thing. I've talked about this many times where I was like, we got to stop telling people how to enjoy this hobby, because
that's it.
for me, for example, like, how do you want me to use my shit? I'm in New York City. You want me to go outside and fight people? I cut
Right.
boxes and I cut tape and I make content on knives. I like looking at them. I love feeling the action on knives. I like, you know, opening knives up and seeing like how it works, if it's easy enough
Yep.
for me to put back together. Things like that like excite me and interest me. And you know, I really hate the fact that sometimes, you know, dudes will say like you're less of a man if you don't use your shit and stuff. And I'm like, bro, have you fucking seen what I look like, bro? Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, how could
Um,
you say that to me? And you know, I think now things are starting to change where at least for my audience, which is I'm like, use your stuff the way you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that
exactly.
I go out and feather sticks, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm
Right.
not doing that in New York City. I'm not gonna make a fire in the middle of Central Park. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's
Right.
just not gonna happen. But
Um,
you know, my table is full of knives, and you know, for people to say like I'm less of a knife hobbyist or an EDC collector or something
ah,
like that,
I
I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying?
no, I
Yeah.
don't buy into that either. And on the flip side, though, if you are one of the use your shit people,
Yeah.
cool.
Cool. Yeah.
I think it's awesome that you can put your
Yes.
knife through the paces and
Yep.
you can give us reports on sharpening and all that. I
Yes.
tell people I'm not necessarily a reviewer. I like to check out things that are cool. I'm going to
The
give you my take
Scorpio.
on it. Scorpio, yeah, yeah.
Yes. That's for our
Um,
buddy Blade Banter. He's the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One another
He's the
Pacific
best.
Northwest brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's the best.
I've got to a couple of times at the last Pacific North because he's just down in Oregon.
Yeah.
At the last Pacific Northwest meetup, Blade Banter showed up, and I got to handle the Scorpio prototype
Yeah.
there. And then met up with him at Blade Show in Atlanta, and yeah, just an awesome dude. He's a guy. Again, now I happen to like the designs that he's putting out, but
Mhm.
Blade Banter, Orion Knives is a company that I'm going to support. Whatever
Yeah.
they put out, I'm going to get something, you know.
Yeah.
And it just so happens he's making some pretty dope stuff at a
Yes.
great
Yes.
great price point. He's got a good eye. Everything is purposely driven, and not a perfect knife. There's little things about it that I
Mhm.
can critique,
It's
but
thick, bro.
overall,
Thicker
it
than a
is.
Snickers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to see these be nested liners, just so it's not so thick. Um,
It probably
uh,
costs more though. That's the thing, you know. It
exactly.
costs a little
And
more. He's trying to
he's really
keep it.
trying to. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Like the next one, the Cetus that he's coming out with, he's trying to do
Mhm.
for like $55 or something.
What?
You know,
That's
yeah, and
crazy.
that's a dope looking. That thing's
Yeah.
gonna be dope. But um,
This video was brought to you by Asia The Amazing Outdoors. Located in Woodridge, New York, you can enjoy the amazing outdoors in the Catskills. There's camping, ATV rentals, ATV riding lessons, guided ATV tours, and much more. Give them a follow on Instagram and shoot them a DM for inquiry. Or you can email them at asianewyork@gmail.com.
yeah, and again, I also try to show the support to the region that I'm in, Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
So if I can help represent that, yeah. But shout out to Blade Banter for sure.
That's a cool knife. Is that the
He's
pocket
dope.
clip that comes with it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's Thai?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Yep. And it's also like it's
Yo.
it's not a ceramic ball like some
Yeah,
people do,
yeah.
but it does have that rounded shape and it's perfect. It
Oh,
bites
the
right in and
ceramic
just slides
ball is
right in.
terrible.
Right. This
Yeah.
one is not. It's actually part of the clip.
Wow.
So I don't know how he does that, but
Yeah. Lanyard hole through the back too. I like that.
yes, it's got it's got like the little standoff there, so it's not showing.
I like that better.
I hate unnecessary holes in knives.
Yes.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yep. I definitely like that better. Yeah, he's cool, man. It's so funny when he was like, hey, do you want to join this pass round group?
Yep.
And this is a long time ago. Okay. I actually thought he was someone else because his profile picture on Instagram looked like some other person that I was like trying not to talk to. And I thought it was some bullshit, right? And I was like getting ready for work in the morning, and I'm like, oh, who do you work with and stuff? I want to review only like certain things. And then he showed me the list. It was like like all this stuff. I was like, yes, let me in, please. And then it was all, you know, it was history from there, man. I've never left. And like, honestly, it's weird to say this, but I actually have not bought a knife for a while. I did buy something recently because I lost a pocket clip screw to it. It was from Urban EDC Supply, but it was a good knife. It was the F5.5. So in blue denim micarta, that's the one that sold out in 3 minutes. And I lost the pocket clip screw. Right? You got one? You got one too? Yeah, I have one right here. I have this is so funny. We're like, when knife guys do a podcast, they just like do show and tell and stuff. Yeah, I have a special one here, actually, a really special one right now that was never released. But the denim micarta one. Ooh, you do have.
This is the black. The blue one's out there. I got the black one.
Nice. So I bought that because it was a review model, and I lost the pocket clip screw. So I told Matt, I was just like, he's my homie at Urban EDC Supply. I was like, I'll just buy it.
I know Matt too.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
Matt is great. Got to finally meet him in person at Blade.
He lent me this.
I actually saw your live. You were still at the CBD store when you did that, right?
Yeah. So he came to my CBD shop and he was like, "Hey, do you want to check this out?" I'm like, "Sure." And then look at it's Bronze guy, huh? It's heavy, bro.
Oh yeah,
this is so heavy. But if you're a lover of the F5.5 and you get to hold this, you're gonna like it. And I am. I do love this model. I think this is one of the best models out right now. There's a reason why it sells out. Do you when you go and create your content, right? Like, is there like any type of strategy at all, or do you just like make it and then
so now and again, whether it really works or not, I don't know. I do 2-3 different things. I do my mail call / unboxings, and then if the knife is cool enough. So again, I'm not buying a lot for myself. It's pass around knives that I'm getting.
Yes.
If I like it, I might do try to do like a 5-minute or less video actually doing specs and all that, because I'm just giving first impressions. I'm not going over blade length and how much it weighs, and I'm not a spec guy.
I'm literally the same as you.
But if there is something that I think is cool, I will do that. I'll try to keep it to 5 minutes or less, and I'll go, tip to heel, do it. Do a video like that. And that's when it comes to reviews. And again, I don't call myself a reviewer at all. I mean, that's a whole use your shit thing too. You can't call yourself a reviewer if you're not, and I get that. That. But that's not what I'm review. It's right, bro. And that's we're getting semantics, right? It
drives me crazy, man.
So that's kind of the way I plan things out. And then I know there's been a lot of discussion in one of the groups that we're in about like doing shorts, and reels, and
I'm like the biggest proponent of that shit.
I had until recently, like I used to do Instagram reels all the time. I never thought about putting it on
YouTube. Yeah,
and now I'm seeing the value in that, and they're so much fucking easier to make too.
Yes.
And they're fun.
Yes.
They're fun. Yes. So that is what I'm trying to focus on a lot more, and it's bringing people to the channel.
Exactly.
And I am picking up I'm picking up 5-6 subs a day, which isn't huge baller numbers, but every time I post a short that does really good, it is bringing people, and then they're actually watching the other content that I have.
Exactly.
So I've been agreeing with a lot of the stuff you've been talking about in that group. I'm seeing happen.
The thing that, I mean, if you're content being an enthusiast, right, and just creating videos on the things that you like, be happy, be content, but when I hear someone saying like, oh, I'm having trouble, and they're feeling sad about it or down about it, and if something worked for me, I want to share that with you.
Sure.
That's why I'm so like I'm so passionate about it.
You
because
can tell you're passionate about it.
Dude, like I post
like genuinely, it doesn't come off fake.
Yeah. Like I post on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I post the same thing.
Right.
And I like to see how it performs, right? Like some days, some days, like, you know, the YouTube will be down, or the Instagram is slow, like for me, no matter what. I gain subs, I get views, but it's very hard to analyze the analytics on Instagram. But TikTok, it's like you could tell if your video blew up, you have 200,000 views. Like that's just what it is.
Right.
On YouTube, however, and this is what I was being really passionate about, was when I started doing it for YouTube, the growth was crazy. I was stuck under 4,000 subs for a very long time. I'm talking like, if you think about a channel who's done podcasts with some of the biggest names in the community, but still has not grown, and these guys are my friends, but like I just can't seem to get. So it was exposure was the problem, right? Like people like my stuff, but they never discover it. And now that I did these shorts, it's like there are so many subs and so many views, more than I've ever done in 5 years. It's insane. And it's just from 10 to 15 second clips of me just being silly and talking about a pocket knife, like bare bones description, like this is M390 and da-da-da. I try to keep my tone, my tonality and cadence more catered to a younger audience.
Right.
And that's how the shorts blew up. You know what I'm saying? I try to put a little bit more urban flavor in there from New York City. So I'd be like, yo, this is dope, bro. You got to check this out. You know what I mean? So when I did that, like everything blew up. And, you know, I posted this today because we were talking about shorts in that group, and my views are up by 969%. That is crazy.
That's insane, dude.
That is insane, bro. So Jared, who is probably, in my opinion, in the knife community, is the best at analyzing social media algorithms, especially YouTube. He said if your analytics are always green arrows, right? You know, because like when you look at your analytics in YouTube Studio, they're these arrows. They're either up or down, right? So when you get all green on everything, he's like, the longer you have those green arrows, right? And he told me this when we did this podcast together. He said the longer those green arrows are there, let's say in the first month that the green arrows were there, YouTube was suggesting you do 1,000 people. If the second month's the same thing, they're going to be suggesting you do 5,000, then 10,000, then 20, then 40, then 50. And if you keep doing that for a year, you're going to blow up. That's exactly what happened to him.
Case in point.
So I was like, I'm like, look, guys, it is so easy to make these.
Yeah.
You can still make the full videos, right? But if you're killing yourself putting out 4 like 15-minute videos a week, like you could just make so many shorts and make maybe 1 or 2 of those videos, and get so much more traction. Now, if you're making these videos because you love doing that, and that's fine, this is your hobby, that's dope too. But if I you know, have an acquaintance or someone that's like being down about creating content, I'm gonna tell, you know, I want to tell them, but sometimes I get too passionate and people like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
So,
and,
you know,
and it's also I think a little, and I'm not, you know, not talking about anyone in particular or anything,
yeah. No, this is a broad general thing.
There's I think you think that you're working so hard at something and you want it to work.
Yes.
You know, but this was a really good video, and unfortunately it is, you know, for the longest time I hated talking about algorithms and all that, you know. But yeah, if you want to see growth, you gotta start adapting, right?
Yes.
And if you are passionate about seeing the growth, that's the way you gotta go.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of 50-50 right now.
And that's how you should be. It should never be, it should never be this, right? When it comes to social media content, it should never be I'm doing this or that. It should be I'm doing this and that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like I was saying, like that video, that 15-minute video could be amazing. It could be amazing. If any of us watch it, we would be like, wow, that is the sickest video I ever watched. But if no one's discovering it, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to mix in a little bit of the, you know, a little bit of the cringy stuff, like a little bit. It's a little cringe when I make it,
for sure.
But, you know,
for sure.
you know what I'm saying?
But you know, I tested your Sarion one,
Yeah,
and it absolutely worked. And you know, I was like, yeah, it's a little cringy, and
it's
then
so cringe.
and people aren't used to that from me, also. So a lot of people are like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm just trying something a little new here.
I
You
hope
know,
this sheds some
but
light on it. He's been talking to me. That's why.
yeah, you know, so yeah, you know, I think that so I'm still treating this as a hobby.
Yeah.
But I also, I mean, if I'm going to do something, I do want people to see it. You know, I want, if I'm going to create something, yeah, I do want people to see it. And I'm not, I let go of ego a long time ago. I don't know if you see over my shoulder here, you see Terrence McKenna and you see an Alex Gray. I was a big psychedelics guy. I let go of my ego, let go of my ego years ago. But there is nothing, I shouldn't say nothing. It can get really fucking deflating when you think you put out a banger of a video.
Yes.
And it gets like 40 views and you're like, no one gave a shit about this. And I put my soul into this, you know? So yeah, again, it doesn't make me lose sleep at night, but it does like, am I going to put that much effort into the next one? You know? And that's where I've gone on a roller coaster with wanting to make content. Like sometimes like I'll get in a groove and I'll pump shit out and it's fun and I got a muse and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I come up with a little idea here. And then there's times where I wake up and I'm like, no you know, and it's because, you know, I go through that muse and it only gets, you know, a little you get everybody has their regulars, right? And man, whoever ends up watching this, shout out to, I got a great core of people that really, really, really support me. I know that I'm always going to get their views. I'm always going to get their content. You know, so shout out to, you know, my channel members and stuff that always got my back. But yeah, you do want to bring in, you know, some new eyeballs to it. So it can get a little defeating sometimes. But again, luckily I'm still in the hobby phase of it. So it's not as big of a deal, but if I was really trying to push forward, someone, you know, is trying to embrace the hustle and do this full time, that's the way you got to go, man. No, there's no two ways about it.
I think that I mean, people shouldn't be as crazy as me and like literally just quit my job and fucking, you know,
that's a leap of faith,
like the money wasn't there and I still did it. Because my wife was like, hey, listen, like I'm making a good amount now. Like you should try this now because like, you know, I know I have an outgoing personality and I'm good at this stuff. So like she was like, just do it. And then I just went for it. And it's basically like made me the happiest I've ever been. Just like I wake up early. I wake up at 6:30. And then that's when I got to start eating, bro. I have to eat 5,000 calories a day. Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
Of clean food. So there's no junk in there. And I'm like, literally, I got to eat again right after this. Right after we finish, I got to eat another 1,000 calorie meal. Because I'm trying to convince my body that I am not a skinny person anymore. So I have to basically rewire my endocrine system and just eat so much. But anyway, so I have to wake up early. I eat the food. And then I get right into making content. Like right into it. I'm like, okay, let me make this today. Okay, I gotta review this tower fan that like this fan company sent me. Shout out to Drio fans, by the way.
Damn, you getting tower fans?
Shout out to Drio fans, by the way. Your video is coming, dude. They sent me $150 tower fan. It is awesome. It's on right now. You can't even hear it. It's so quiet, and it's Wi-Fi. It's voice activated. It's crazy. I'm gonna review that, but that's what I mean. It's like I think about what I'm gonna make, and it's all making content. You know, I think my biggest problem before was I was chatting too much, so I stopped the chatting. You know what I mean, and that really helped a lot. But yeah, man, if you want to go and make content, make videos about your knives, you should, because the community is very welcoming, and you're gonna be able to share this kind of like weird hobby that we have, you know, with other people that like it. I got one question for you. Like, who made your logo? Because it's fire.
The Last Ranger. Gary, the Last Ranger.
The Last Ranger.
Yeah,
dude, that logo is fire, bro.
That, yeah, and then there's a couple of tweaks to it from Pocket Metal. Both great graphic design artists. So I had to go through I did a name change about 2 months into my channel.
Yeah.
I was originally Stevie Wonder Woman.
Why did you decide on that name?
It's a nickname that I got when I was in like the 1st grade.
Okay.
Literally. So
I thought it's because you loved Wonder Woman or something. I was like, man, this guy's really crazy for Gal Gadot.
No, I was my name is Steve, but my whole life everybody's called me Stevie. I know if you've known me for a long time, if you actually call me Stevie, but that's everyone's always called me Stevie growing up. And early on the playground, I got kids are always trying to tease whatever your name rhymes with or whatever. I was Stevie Wonder. Everyone was like, "Oh, Stevie Wonder," and then this smart ass fucking douchebag of a kid out of the blue one day was like, "Stevie Wonder Woman," and it killed. It killed on the playground back in like 2nd grade.
It crushed in the schoolyard.
Yeah, and I hated it. And then I changed schools when I was in high school, and Stevie Wonder Woman didn't follow me. Got a new group of friends, and I, like a dumbass, was like, "Oh yeah, growing up, my nickname was Stevie Wonder Woman." Boom, started to write all over again. Yeah. So when I decided to go social media, I wanted to separate myself from work and everything. I just went with Stevie Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I never thought that this would become anything.
Yeah.
So when Gary originally, the Last Ranger, made my logo, it was, do I still have one of the stickers? Yeah. So same logo, but it actually said Stevie Wonder Woman on there.
Oh.
And people started getting to the point where they're like, "Hey man, you should have some merch. You do a Teespring or something."
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's weird, but sure. I go to upload the image to like Teespring and Redbubble and all that, and they're like, "No go, bro. Wonder Woman's fucking trademarked."
It is.
And I was like, "Of course it is, right?" Of course. Like, man, that sucks. So either I stick with it and I just don't do any of that, or so I have a little sign on. I used to say, "Welcome to the channel, Stevie Wonder Woman. I am said Stevie."
Yeah,
is how I started everything. Riffing on stuff. It was Matisfaction that was like, "Dude, you already say I'm said Stevie. Why don't you just change it to said Stevie?" And so it was Matisfaction is one of my closest homies.
I'm gonna have him on soon. I like him a lot.
Dude, one of the most awesome people to talk to, man. One of the most awesome people. I freaking love Maddie.
Dude, I'm imagining you like emailing like Teespring, like, listen, they used to call me this in the playground. I'm trying to 8 Mile it like Eminem.
Yes, Stevie. Yes, dude. Because I thought it was like I got after Gary. I'm like, "Did you use like copyrighted images and all that?" And he's like, "No, man. Like this is all." And finally, they're just like, "No, idiot.
That is hilarious.
It's Wonder Woman." But
that's so funny, bro. You know what's crazy? Something like that recently happened to me, where I was an Amazon affiliate, right? And I'm not right now because they kicked me out because I did this TikTok where I was doing some research on the Artisan Cutlery Series, right? Which is a good knife. My homie Mark H gave it to me. And I did this green screen thing where I have the Amazon listing of the series in the background, and it was like on sale for like $50 or something. And I'm like, "This is crazy! Like, get it, And then they, so they approve you immediately, and then you go through like this probationary period, and I get this email. It's like you used copyrighted like imagery, and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm promoting your shit though." Like, so I had to like email them back, and then they said, you could reapply in I forgot what the time frame is. So I'm like, "Fuck, man, that's like money right there, bro." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, it sucks so much, dude. You're part of EDC Roundtable, right?
That is a company that I started with Joe Lancelot Leather.
Yes. Yeah. And he's the guy that made your amazing fucking mat, right?
Yep.
I need to get on that because I love that. And I wonder
have you seen the one that Vu has been posting from Kaiser?
Yes.
So it's same one. He just made that one.
How
for
much
Vu,
is that?
You're looking right around 150, 180
That's pretty
ish.
good.
You know,
That's
and
pretty
he's
good.
doing he's got a laser now, so he's doing laser etching into it,
Because it
and so
like
it's
looks
way more
good.
crisp in detail.
Well, the thing that I'm looking for is something that is not gonna be so shiny on the camera.
Right.
And
Yep.
that is it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking of getting one of those. I'll definitely hit them up. But yeah, EDC
But
Roundtable, like how did that come
so,
about?
late night, back and forth with Joe Lance. So he's always had his leather business, and I was buying stuff from him.
Mhm.
Started becoming friends with Joe. Cool guy, hangs out in the community, and we're both business oriented. We have I ran a pretty big company for over a decade, so I know what it takes to run. I have a business mind. And we were just talking about there's so many little makers within our community, that we think that they could have more of a platform instead of just hit them up on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so we got like Forrest Hanks, our buddy Matt
Amazing.
Forrest,
Amazing.
yeah, who he was drowning in a sea of um, um, Instagram messages for people wanting to order stuff. And we're like, there's Etsy, but Etsy is a sea of, there's so many stuff, so
Yeah.
much stuff out there. What if we created the kind of the original thought of it was products made by people in the community for the community.
Yeah.
And so we just started reaching out to a couple of people that we were close with. Hawaii Knife and Gear,
I got
Andrew?
to meet him.
Group.
Got to meet
Oh,
him.
at the Hawaii
Yeah.
at
Yes.
the knife meetup.
I'm
So
gonna post that soon actually. 2G Flicks edited it and sent it to
yeah,
me the other day. Really cool guy, Hawaii Knife and
dude, one of
Gear.
the most amazing
Yeah.
minds.
Yeah.
He's just and he's around our age, same,
Yep.
big
Yep.
hip hop head.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hit it off with him early on. So before I knew I'd be working with him,
Hmm.
I had become friendly with him. And I had actually, him and Lancelot Leather had already started working together on a collaboration.
Hmm.
I ordered a knife from Andrew, one of his Koa knives.
Yeah.
Wanted a slip
Sick.
for it. I wanted a slip for it. Joe needed dimensions, so he reached out to Andrew and was like, "Hey, maybe I could put your logo on some slips." And so they had already started working together. So we had Andrew. Joe was making sheaths for Fixed Blade company, Mastranza Blades. Our
Mhm.
homie Lee out of North Carolina, out of Asheville. He's just a 26, 27-year-old kid running a forge,
Wow.
making amazing stuff. And we just collectively put our minds together and said, hey, what if we just came together as one group and made our own website and focused more on, really, it's not so much the product but about the person behind the product, and promote each other,
Yeah.
so originally, again, not that I have a marketing degree or anything, but I kind of had figured out Instagram and stuff. And it was originally just an idea. I was going to be a part of this. I was going to help invest into it. And then kind of run the social media side. And then it was Joe that was like, well, why don't you become an actual member of the roundtable? I don't make anything. He's like, you've been talking about doing beard care products for a while. Why don't you start doing that? So, that's what I'm doing now. I got a section in my garage set up. I'm
That's
going
awesome.
like a mad scientist. I'm doing all my, I buy my carrier oils, and then I came up with a blend. I sent it out to about 60 some people for feedback. It went well, and
Nice.
I decided to start peddling some beard care products. So here I am, 2 months into that, and I'm selling a couple $1,000s worth of beard care oil,
Oh
beard care products.
shit,
So
dude. That's
yeah,
amazing.
the site's going along well. We just brought on Jack's Lungs from Instagram. If you guys know
Yeah.
Jack's Lungs, he makes cool pocket jewelry, making stuff out of micarta.
Yep.
Just again, he calls it his janky junk. But he gets in all sorts of different micarta, fat carbon, and he's making pocket jewelry.
Cool.
So we got him on. There's 6 members strong. We had someone else on and then dropped off. You quickly realize sometimes it's no different in any world. Sometimes friends and business don't mix.
Yes.
And they're
well.
So we parted ways with one of the original members. And you move on.
Yep.
So again, the thought behind it is we're promoting one another. So
That's
maybe
amazing.
you're getting on looking for just some leather, but then you see some beard care products, or you see some jewelry, or you see some of Andrew's koa wood, and now you're buying multiple things. So that was the deal behind that.
That's amazing, man. And if for all of you listening and watching, just head to edcroundtable.com, right? Is that?
Yep. That's simple. edcroundtable.com.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna reach out to some of the people on there and have them on here, actually, just to promote a little bit. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for doing this, man. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
We talked about knives very little, I think, but I try to talk about knives first, but then to really try to get to know the person. I feel like that's how podcasts should be. Lives are a little bit different, I think.
Right. You can go a little bit longer.
Yes. With podcasts, it's different.
Right. And I have the gift, whether it's a gift or a curse, I gab, and when
you're a comedy fan, so you're going to have it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You say words like crush and kills, and I was like, this guy loves stand-up just like me.
Yeah. I attempted one time. It
was very hard, right? Yeah. It's tough.
I ate my balls on stage, and it was horrible.
I mean, that's they say that's what happens though. You like eat a bag of dicks for like a long time.
Yep.
There
was one person. There was one person laughing his ass off, my buddy, at me just dying up there.
You're just eating shit.
So,
that's so funny.
I was so deflated, but
yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I like having conversation, and so
Same.
it's nice when you're talking to someone that actually, because what a lot of people don't realize, they realize it late. There is an art. I don't say I'm necessarily good at it, but there is
good at
having a conversation.
Yeah, you are good at it. By the way, I've done over 300 of these. You are good at being on a podcast.
Well, I talk to people. I talk to strangers for a living.
Yes,
that's what I do day in and day out. So having, and again, I mean, thank you for saying that, but I understand how to have a conversation, and there's nothing worse talking to someone and they just give you nothing.
It's just dead air. I've had to not air some episodes because of this
reason. I'm sure.
Not a lot. I would say less than 5. And some of them were surprising, man. I was like, yo, I cannot believe that didn't turn out that good.
And it's hard carrying a conversation too,
Oh yeah,
hearing every single thing, So yeah, hey man, like I said, I appreciate the back and forth. So
yeah, let people know where they can find you. It's just Said Stevie everywhere.
Said Stevie everywhere. Instagram, YouTube. I have a Said Stevie page on Facebook. It just copies over everything
from Instagram.
From Instagram. That's mainly for like my aunt and a couple of friends from high school and stuff. I'm not really active over there. I am active in like some of the buy sell trade groups, buy sell trade groups over there. But Instagram, YouTube. I do my own live stream every other Saturday at 5:30 Pacific time. So I just did this past weekend, so it'll be another 2. I might start doing it weekly. But
that's a big one actually that I didn't touch on, is that building community is also very important. This is why in that group chat, man. That's why in that group chat I said that Tri-State is gonna pop next, and that's because his community, his live show community, is so strong, dude. It's so strong.
Yep.
So that's very important. Once he gets the other things figured out, it's like it'll just triple, quadruple,
Right.
But yeah, man, totally appreciate you coming on. If you ever want to promote anything, let's say you have a new product for ADC Roundtable, or you design a knife like everyone is right now, like you can come on here. We're totally going to promote that. And it was a pleasure having you, man.
Appreciate that.
This is your boy Ray and said Stevie and the Everyday City Carry saying peace.
This video is brought to you by the Beautiful Leather Goods by Andar. All products are 100% full grain leather. Orders over $35 get free shipping automatically. You get free exchanges and a 90-day return policy. Maybe you want to pick up the Apollo. Or if you're like me and you want to go super minimal and slim, you'll probably check out the Monarch. Andar wallets have this cool unique pull tab. They go like this, getting your cards out. That allows quick access to your cards. Head over to andar.com and use promo code EDCC to get 15% off your entire order. Yo, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell icon so we can squad up in the comments.